Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right. How is everybody? We got DJs in the house. Dale is here. Carol Prince, Janet, Okie Forge, Dust Devil, Terry's in the house. M Hammer, JJ, obviously. So, all right. Welcome, everybody. Interesting weekend, huh? You know, we're going to get into this here in just a moment. But before we jump into anything, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you please to be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, then those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here because we will not tolerate it. It's as simple as that. Any comments that you want to make, all cap locks, please. Out for me more. I'll see it better that way. So, yeah, all right. So obviously, unless you've been hiding under a rock, the news today, Biden has dropped out of the presidential race. Is it a surprise? Not at all. I mean, the Democrats have been clamoring backdoor behind stuff. I was saying to somebody today, I said, I don't know if you guys noticed. I try to pay attention to things, and they have been putting over the last month or so Harris out front more. They've been putting her out more for like this. She's this great leader, right? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that. So, uh, and I'm going, something's up. Something's up with that. Just kind of like in the back of my mind, I said something is up, and it's basically a mutiny. Realistically, they realized that they knew that they were not going to win with Biden. I don't know how they think that they're going to win with Harris. Listen, regardless of Harris's path to politics, okay, how did Kamala Harris become a politician? She slept her way into it. That is a known fact, right? She was with Willie Brown out in California. Everybody that's anybody knows that whole story in the first place of how she got into politics. I personally do not care for the woman, being honest. I don't give a crap what color she is. Um, the fact that just who she is, um, you know, and how she got there should be a red flag. She is no role model for women, none whatsoever. Hey, Asif, my pet name is Horizontal Harris. Oh my God, that's funny. I call her a cackling hyena. I won't use that other derogatory term that people call her, starting with camel. I won't use that one. I mean, it's to me that's really disrespectful to women in general. I mean, she's got a laundry list of poor attributes that you could call her. Okay, and but thank you very much, Asif, for the donation as well. You have a person that was running to be president, and she was getting like 1% of the vote when she dropped out because she's not a likable candidate. I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. Now, all Trump has to do if he gets into a debate, which I will be fascinated to hear if they do that, her great record at the southern border, because she was the one that Biden put in charge of the southern border, which she never visited. Now, if you are the czar, if you're in charge, you're the person in charge of the southern border, and it's an absolute disaster. It's in the news all the time. You think maybe you might want to go and visit the southern border, not 300 miles away or however far down she went in Texas, but you would think that if that's your baby, people are complaining, there's a lot of problems. You would think that that would be the person that would be going down there if you were that person in charge, right? You would think so. Um, and like I said, folks, I hate politics. truly, truly hate politics, but you think that this is the better option to win. I think they realized they couldn't hide Joe anymore, to be honest with you, and what a disaster he has been. But it's there was a lot of pressure for him to step down, and I think that people that whoever is really truly running the show, they finally said, "Hey, enough is enough, and you're out." I think that's what happened. And so, now they're going to parade her in front of us, acting like she's some great candidate to be the next president. And what a disaster and a joke. She's been a disaster this entire time as vice president. Now she's going to be the candidate. They're saying Joe has endorsed her, so all his delegates would go to her. Very frightening. And do I think that she would have any kind of. Yes, hey, Asif, with all the free plane tickets and bus tickets the governments are providing illegal aliens, all 48 states are border state food for the chicks. Oh, thank you very much. Absolutely appreciate the donation. And yeah, I want you to think about this, folks. I mean, let's be realistic about about the southern border. When you have 10,000 people a day coming across the border and they're doing nothing to stop it, and they've done nothing to stop it this entire presidency of Joe Biden. We, the taxpayers, are the ones footing the bill. But yet, people that are Americans that have been here that need help, legitimately need help, can't get it. And yet these people are being put up in nice hotels, given free vouchers. I mean, look at New York City wanting to give them what, $1,000 a month food vouchers. I mean, that's insane. Give me $1,000 a month food voucher. That would be awesome. I would take that in a heartbeat. Why would you not take care of American citizens as opposed to illegal aliens? And here's another thing I wanted to. So the Democrats are making a big deal of the fact that the Republicans are saying to be able to vote, you should have ID. And the Democrats are saying, oh, well, that's racist towards black people. I would love for somebody to explain to me how that's racist. If you have to have an ID to do pretty much anything in this country, right? If you want to open up a checking account, if you want to get a job, a legitimate above the board job, any of those type, anything, to apply to get a pistol permit, whatever the case may be, you have to have ID. It's one of the first things that they ask you. Can I see your ID, please? Right, to verify who you are and where you come from. But yet, to elect somebody president, they don't want to have to worry about people having an identification. I mean, how insane is that? And that's not racist at all. It has nothing to do with racist. It should only be people that are Americans voting in the election. Okay, that's the only ones that should be voting in the election, Americans. So Disney removed the drunk bear from the Disneyland ride, not to offend the drunks. You can't make this stuff up. Unbelievable. How crazy is that? Yeah, you have to buy alcohol. You got to show ID. If you want to go into a pot store and get weed, you got to show ID. But to vote in an election, you don't have to. It's all done by design. All these people were brought in here. Oh yeah, cold medicine. If you're gonna get which one is it? Like Sudafed? I think it's Sudafed. You have to have ID to get Sudafed. You want to buy cigarettes? You better have ID. I mean, it's just like I said, you can't make this crap up. But yeah, Sudafed. Yep. So it's insanity. It is insanity. So, but it we're in a sad folks. If they do a debate, which I hope they do, I would love to see that debate. If Harris is going to be the candidate, well, what I saw this is what I saw. They said, "Oh my, really want to scare Trump? Have Obama be the VP," and they're talking about Michelle Obama. She has zero qualifications, period, to be any kind of candidate for anything. I mean, what is, seriously? It would be Trump talking and her cackling. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I mean, I would love to see that debate because Trump will eat her lunch. And almost the debate that they were going to have in September, let's see if that's still on or not. Let's see if the Democrats want to parade her out there for that debate. It would be very, very interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it'll be very interesting movement. Oh, some places I know that like Walmart would be one of those places. If you want to go buy ammo, you got to show ID, right? So think about that. It's just I don't know. Like I said, and what kills me that with these people out there. And listen, and just to be 100%, I mean, I'm not rah rah rah. Trump is the greatest thing since sliced toast. That is not what I'm saying. Never have, never will. Trump's put his foot in his mouth many a times. Said very stupid things. Could have handled things differently. So there's that as well. But it's just, but him against Harris, that should be a really interesting situation uh, moving forward. But now here would be the thing. So let's say Trump gets the presidency. Let's say he wins this election. You know, he's 77 years old, right? I think he's 70. Oh, is Trump 77? Somebody let me know exactly what his age is, if you would, please. I believe he's 4 years younger than Biden. 78? Okay. So he's 78 years old. I mean, the realistic expectation that, you know, somebody that age is going to make it through the 4 years. I'm surprised, Biden has made it this long. So, we'll see. Like I said, well, it's not over yet, but unbelievable. Like I said, it's just then we would have, his running mate. So, like I said, very interesting situation. I honestly have said from the very beginning, Biden and Trump, these are the best two candidates we could come up with 4 years ago. These are the best two candidates we can come up with now. I mean, I think that we could do so much better. And, now that Biden is out and they're trouting Harris is this, the next. And here's the reason why. Okay. All the money donated for the Biden campaign, only Biden or Harris can use that money. Now they could donate it to a PAC, but then it's subject to the different regulations, and they would not get all that money. So it's almost as though they have to go with Harris if they want to use that campaign money that they've already gotten. So, oh, and what did I read today? Oh, now that this announcement is in, donations for the Democrats are way up. Oh, good luck. That's what I will say to that. Good luck, because you guys are going to need it. If she's going to be the candidate, good luck. So there's an old saying, guys. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. So take that for what you will. You're talking about a woman that was in the prosecuting office and she put innocent people in jail knowing that they were innocent people. If you remember those stories, if you remember reading that information, and that's not misinformation, there was information. I'm talking about one particular instance where there was a gentleman that they basically said, we have the proof that this guy's innocent, and she did it anyway. So I watched Kennedy news conference this afternoon. He ripped Kamala a new one. Oh, I believe that. I believe, like I said, when she was the VP pick, I was like, "Good Lord, what are they thinking?" Because I didn't honestly believe Joe would last 4 years as president. Definitely did not believe he would last 4 years. He had signs of senility when before the election even happened. They kept him hidden away during the election. And then supposedly, allegedly, more votes than any other president ever. That's what we're being told. Last night I had a video chat with my brother and sister. My brother said that when he listened to Joe Biden the last few years, he reminds him of my dad the last few years when he was in decline. You know what, Asif, and I definitely agree with that. Thank you very much for the donation. And he's been in decline. He was not in great shape to start the presidency, and he definitely has gotten much, much worse moving forward. So I don't disagree with that assessment at all. So it's not hard to find someone who won't outshine Joe. Yeah, but Harris, oh, Miss Piggy wears lipstick. Oh my God, that's funny. All seeing cats. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. It'll be very interesting moving forward. This whole situation. You know, this here's the sad reality. I'm going to give you the sad reality. Regardless of which candidate wins, whoever ends up being the Democratic nominee, whoever ends, obviously Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. Whoever wins the election, let's say Trump wins, okay? You're going to have half the country that is going to be absolutely pissed off, mad. We already know what the media will do during his next presidency because they did it the entire time of his first presidency, right? That's exactly, you know, so their situation is not going to change. So, but it will be very, very interesting, like I said, moving forward to see how this goes. But regardless of who wins, it's not going to be good for the country. It's not. Um, you know, I can't even imagine her running this country. We're going to be, if she's a winner, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. So, not a good situation. Is it true that Hillary's going to try again? No, they're touting Harris as the president, the presidential nominee. So yeah, it's like I said, moving forward, it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. I think it's going to be a nightmare, regardless. I think we're in for a very bumpy ride over the next 6 months, and I would just again, I'm going to encourage you guys to just continue to prepare, continue to get ready, because um, Harrison Whitmore, oh my God, that's a scary ticket right there. Why would they think realistically when you have these, like Hochul would be another one, right? Destroyed New York State, absolutely destroyed New York State. New York State sucks. I love New York. Grew up there, obviously. Anybody that knows, watch my channel for any length of time, knows that I spent most of my life in New York State. And the taxes are outrageous. The crime is out of control. The weather absolutely sucks up there. The gun laws absolutely sucks. So they were. I was watching a thing of Hochul, and they were asking her. They were asking her if she felt, fearful, for herself after Trump was the attempt on Trump with the assassination. First thing she brings up, well, the gun that was used is a weapon of mass destruction. They're so full of crap. These people don't even know what they're talking about. All right. All she wants to do is bring up the gun, bring up the gun, bring up the gun. And so California and New York mirror each other. Yeah, no kidding. California generally does it first, and New York is closely second behind. Um, and not for the better. Not for the better. I had a conversation with somebody today, and and he was saying, I mean, it sounded like he was echoing my thoughts. He's like, when they make all these gun laws, all it does is it hurts the law-abiding citizen. That's all it does, folks. When you make gun laws, it doesn't stop the criminals. I have said this before, and I will say this again. Criminals do not care what the gun laws are. They're going to have guns anyway. End of story. So when you are hamstrung, New York City and Buffalo area are the only blue in the state, but they have the majority of the people. It's not just New York City and Buffalo. It's New York City, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany. Those are the five predominant areas, but they have the most people, and that's why New York State will always go blue and it will never go red. Once you eliminate those five areas, the entire rest of the state is red. It's a very, you get out into the country, folks, very conservative out in the country in New York State. Very conservative. But, people are just, because all you talk about 8, 9 million people in New York City alone. So what do you think's going to happen? So it's just, but, yeah, many want to split the state in two. Yeah, because here's the problem. I'll give you an example of the problem in New York State. All the money that is generated, not all, but a large portion of the money that's generated in taxes from upstate New York goes to New York City to help with that, whatever programs that they're doing down there. That's where a lot of that money goes. A lot of that money does not stay in upstate New York. Trust me, we could have a discussion about New York State here for quite a while, But when you have lunatics in charge, and here's the other thing that I find fascinating. Okay, Hochul, you don't believe in guns? Then why do you have armed guards? Why do you have armed security? If you're so against guns, why is it okay for you to have armed security, but I'm not able to defend myself if I live in that state? That's a great question, I think. I think that's a legitimate question. All these politicians, right? All these politicians have armed security. But then they're going to tell you what you need to do and how you need to give up your guns because they're bad and they're terrible and they're a horrible thing. But yeah, they're going to have armed security and live behind. Yeah, they live behind in gated communities. Yep. So, uh, craziness. It's just like I said again. All gun laws do is hamstring law-abiding citizens, and if you don't comply to the new laws that they make up as they go along, which again, to me, are null and void because last time I read the Constitution of the United States, the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Doesn't mean you can't have this, you can't do that, you can't have high capacity magazines, you can't do this, you can't have this much ammo and all this other nonsense that they do. I mean, like New York State now has it, if you buy ammo in New York State, you have to pay for a background check. Are you freaking kidding me? It's insane. It is absolutely insane. But anyway, that's why I moved out of there. That's why I will never live there again. I love my family, and I want my family to move down here to West Virginia. Hopefully, in time they will. That's my hope. So, but yeah, if Michelle wins, we lose. You know what? I don't see that. I don't see that. If walls are ineffective, then why live in gated communities? Food for the chicks. Thank you, Asif. I appreciate that. Exactly. They don't want a wall on the southern border, but they want to live in gated communities. Yeah. Crazy times, folks. Crazy times. And we're lucky enough that we get to live in it and see it happen firsthand. I'm curious to see what happens 20 years from now, 50 years from now, when they look back at this time. Are they going to say, these people were insane? This was the most stupid time in the history of our country, if we even still have a country at that point in time. I don't know. Like I said, it's just when I see things, I just talk. I'll give you an example of something. I had a conversation with somebody today. I have a conversation. I talk to a lot of people all the time, but anyway, this guy um, works for this company, and he had a higher up boss just got fired. Big position, very important. Um, there was a lesbian couple that worked in the company. He had said something to them, something. I don't know. I don't know what was said. Uh, and so what ended up happening was they band together, made complaints, and this guy lost his job. And I see this happen, this kind of stuff happen all the time. Catering to this small percentage of people. Listen, nobody should be treated badly. I don't care who you are. But, you know, I've seen so much stuff through the years, folks. I mean, I could tell you story after story after story. Ed, I'm pretty sure Putin won't give Harris any time of any day for any kind of discussion. I'm wouldn't that's not, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Okie Ford said the Constitution does not say the right to bear arms and shall not be infringed unless. Exactly. Exactly. So I just, it's an interesting situation that we are in dilemma. Like I said, we need to just focus again. All this, all this stuff is all grandstanding. Okay, it's all actions. What you got to pay attention is right now. Everybody's focus is right. Like this live stream, everybody's focus is Biden has stepped down. Harris is going to be the presidential nominee. It appears to be that way, right? So, but yet, and I did a video about this earlier today. The video that I did this for today. Did I do that this morning? Yeah, I think I did that this morning. And I was talking about, you don't hear nothing about what do you hear now about Israel and Hamas, in the Gaza Strip? Nope. Yesterday's news. We don't care about that anymore. It's not that important anymore. Did it go away? Did it stop? Right? No. But yet, all the distraction is this right now. What's going on right now? And so here's another question that I would have. If he is unable and doesn't believe that he's able to run the country and be the presidential nominee for the next, 4 years, what's his competency level right now? How is he still in charge and being competent enough until January when the transfer of power? That's an interesting question, I think. So, how can he run the country now if he can't do it come January? So, 25th Amendment. Yeah, they talked about doing that when Trump was in office. They're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. I don't believe. I don't believe that's going to happen. They're just going to push him along, keep him out of the limelight for the next several months, and you assume he was running it before. Well, I don't believe that he was. So somebody's saying Israel struck Yemen for the Houthi rebels. I did not see that. Wouldn't shock me. So Dale's saying he should resign immediately. If he does, then we have Harris right now. Do you realize that? I mean, that's one of the things that I don't think that people really grasp very much when this whole situation. Um, if he's gone, then we have Harris. And again, she can't wait. She can't wait. What do we got? 330 in the chat, guys. We got 146 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Uh, they will continue to medicate him heavily all the way through November. Yeah, no kidding. So, but also again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Do you think there may be another attempt on Trump's life or dome the same stuff do the same stuff as the last presidency? If he's elected, the media will just try to do the same thing that they did through the entire 4 years of his last presidency. I mean, it's all a big waste of time. It's all a big game. What I love is how the fear tactics, with the Democrats, with Trump. Oh, well, if he gets in office, he wants to be in there forever. Okay, whatever. That's just nonsense. Okay, he'll do his 4 years and then he'll go away and will be whoever's next. Um, There's that, and then there's like, oh, he's like Hitler. He's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to go after his political rivals. Oh, like the Democrats did to him. Did they not? Tell me they didn't. Please, someone tell me that they have not weaponized the DOJ, gone after Trump, tried to do everything they possibly could to keep him out of office. They've done everything they possibly could. Am I not right on that? So, if that, to me, what that tells me, that's the guy I want. Honestly, that's the guy I want, because they can't control him. That's the problem. They can't control him. Now, will so here's some. Let's just put it out there, right? Trump gets elected again. Will his family get richer because of that election? Wouldn't surprise me, because guess what? Whoever is the elected president, their family gets richer, because they have family members that will go and do the deals and make the bargains and all that type of stuff behind closed doors. They all do it, folks. I don't care what party it is. It doesn't make any difference. Will there be an election in civil unrest? That's hard to say. You know, when you have both sides fanning the flames, like one of the other big things is they're like, oh, Trump gets elected, Agenda 2025 is going to be enacted, and he's going to do all this stuff it's all fear. It's all fear. Um, that group that puts that stuff out, they do it every single year or every single election cycle, what their things are. Okay. Yeah, watch for false flag events, Terry, and I don't disagree with that. I think that is a very good point. So, yeah, it's a lot of fear mongering. They're trying to scare people. Oh, this guy, if he gets in, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do the other thing. Well, before the pandemic, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I was in a different mindset, but I thought the economy was doing pretty fantastic. You had black people and Hispanic people at historic lows for unemployment, right? The economy was doing well. Gas was cheap, $2 a gallon for gas. Uh, you know, the economy was moving along, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic comes and everything gets shut down and destroys everything. And who? So here's what you always have to look at. Here's what you always have to look at. When something happens, who benefits? So let's look at that, right? The pandemic happened. Who benefited, right? Who got rich? Walmart sure did okay. Lowe's, Home Depot, right? They sure did fine. Big Pharma made a pant load of money. A pant load of money. And I drove through West Virginia yesterday, and boy, gas is expensive there. It's gone up. Oh, it's definitely gone up. You know, we had I think I mentioned it. We had a 20% or 20 cents, I'm sorry, 20-cent increase in gas after the hurricane hit Texas. So, yeah, it's the little guy who suffer. All those small businesses, all those restaurants that closed and never opened back up again because they couldn't, that's who suffered. And realistically, the lifeblood of this country, folks, is small business, because they spend their money locally. The people that are buying their products, that money goes back into the community. And, yeah, the nursing home patients sure paid a price. Yes, they did, Don Hill. Yes, they did. When you had a governor in New York State who forced upstate nursing homes to take sick people into their nursing homes, and then it ran through the nursing home. And you look at who really was affected the most by the virus, okay? Because that's what it was a virus, okay? End of the day, it's a virus. Who was affected the most? Compromised people, right? We could use the term worthless eaters, right? People that are drained on the system, right? All your your people with heavy duty medical issues, your morbidly obese people, your your elderly folks, the people that are that you look at the numbers. If you look at the numbers, uh, people that had a lot of underlying other health issues, you know, high blood pressure, diabetics, they had a lot of issues going on, and then they got sick, and then they died. But did that stop? Right, that whole situation, people that they don't consider viable. Now, were there some younger people that died and all that tough stuff? Absolutely, there was. Okay, but the majority of the people that died because of that pandemic were compromised people. Yeah, Okie Forge. I'm not gonna repeat that statement, but I don't disagree with that statement. I don't disagree with that statement. What I will tell you is this, okay? And I want you to think about this. And I did mention this before. They showed the numbers year after year. There's a percentage of people that die every single year, right? You're always going to have flu season's going to come, and it's going to kill off a certain number again of compromised people. They're the ones that are most vulnerable in those situations. And they showed the numbers the year before COVID, during COVID, and after. Now, what would you think what those numbers would look like? What do you think those numbers would look like? And I'm not going to even get into what they were, but I'm going to ask you on your own to do the research. Was there a change? Because you would think, this is just me thinking outside the box, you would think if we had this terrible event happened, that those numbers would be this great big spike up, okay, in deaths above normal. But go check it out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you what those numbers were. Um, Pay attention. That's all I'm asking you guys. Pay attention, do your own research, look it up. And then you can come back and you can tell me if there was a huge spike, which there should be, right? You would assume that there would be this huge spike in the numbers, or not. Or was it the same? That's just a question. I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. Uh, anyway, I find it interesting that in a supposedly free country, that in a supposedly free country, why would people be forced to do something that they did not want to do? JJ is, I did see that too, JJ. And again, I can't say that um, because I don't want them to, you know, I can't say that. So unfortunately, even if I agree with the statement, I can't say anything, unfortunately, on here because you know how things go. So, but we're in an interesting situation. Moving forward, I think it's going to get more serious as we get closer to this election. Unfortunately, we are very, very galvanized. The hatred in this country is sad, in my opinion. We definitely need to come together as human beings, and I don't see that happening right now. Regardless of who wins this election, I do not see people coming together and working together and going, okay, you know, no, your comments wouldn't. Why would your comments? So, yes, 2024 has been very done yet. That is for sure. And how ridiculous is it that you can't say certain words on this platform? Yeah, right. We are free. Exactly, Don. I don't disagree with that statement either. It is if you go against the approved narrative. Remember that, folks. If you go against the approved narrative, you will be targeted, and that's a fact. That's a fact. So Whispering Pine says we're too divided now. I don't disagree with that. I think that we're very divided. So yeah, 15 years ago you two uploaded anything you want. Today you upload what they tell you to. Yeah, it's very. You have to self-censor, or you will be punished. That's the rules now. Um, you know, Heaven forbid that you give your opinion of something that can be labeled as misinformation or medical misinformation, which when you live something, when you live something, how in God's green earth is that medical misinformation? That's a question that I have there. I find that fascinating, to be honest with you. Craziness, absolute craziness. But again, I'm going to continue to control what you can control. Okay, you need to control what you can control. What you can control is this: how prepared you are, how ready you are for whatever may happen. That's what you can control. Okay, that's what you can control. You can't control what they're going to do politically, how the election's going to go, any of that type of stuff. You're not going to have any control over any of that. What you can control is, okay, what can I do to put myself in a position to be ready for whatever may happen? That's what you can control. And you got to remember, too, guys, uh, you know, what you have to remember as well is that there is always going to be, oh, God, I'm losing my thought here. Hold on a second. I know it came back. Sorry. The one thing you got to realize is the majority of people have done absolutely nothing, nothing, and they're not going to do anything. And when I say the majority, 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2 week disaster, let alone anything longer. What that means is there's a lot of victims out there. And the other thing you got to realize now is, yeah, I hope Elon Musk buys YouTube. That would definitely change things up. That's for sure. I'd be very welcome to that. To be honest with you, Lori, I'd be very welcome to. I bet you the shadow banning and all that other nonsense would stop then. So yeah, that would be a good thing. But anyway, what was I going to say? When, like I said, the division is very sad, realistically, very very sad. So, but like I said, do what you can do. Take care of your family. Be as ready as you can be. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I want you to think about the hyper super sensitive folks out there, right? That cry over the drop of a hat. They're offended by everything. They're so upset and, oh, I'm traumatized and I have PTSD because somebody raised their voice to me or whatever, those type of folks. How long in a true event do you think those type of people will last? And will they be missed realistically, those type of people, when they're gone? Because those people will not last long, because when the predators come out of the woodwork, um, I've talked about this before. There's organized gangs out there. There's organized biker gangs also out there. So you got your biker gangs, you have your street gangs, right? They're all out there. What do you think those type of folks are going to do when SHTF happens? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do whatever they want because there's not any rule of law. Nobody's coming to save the day. The thought police aren't going to make it go away. You can't, oh, I'm offended. They won't care if you're offended, you know? So, in a way, Steve asked me, I'll give you an example of something. Steve said to me, he said, you talk about that you really don't want to see something happen. He goes, but deep down, he goes, you do. And I said, you know what, man, you're in a way, I said, you're right. And I will tell you why. We can't keep doing what we're doing. Okay. We can't keep doing what we're doing. This is not sustainable. This cannot continue. Something has to give. So, Joy Reid said Lord of the Rings is a right-wing extremist series because Vance likes it. She's insane. That's nuts. Lord of the Rings is a story. It is fiction. And that's the other thing too. If you disagree, you're a mega extremist. All those mega extremists out there. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's that's probably the biggest thing that bothers me more than anything else is the stupidity of it all. It really is. Did you see that Shaq showed Joy Bear the door at his restaurant? No, I didn't see that. I did not see that. That's actually very funny. All right, guys, let's do this right now. We're going to do the egg count. Um, so, how many eggs today? And yes or no for Betty White. Did she lay or did she not lay today? So, again, if you have not shot a thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithm, so the more interaction, the better. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I thank you for that as well. So, uh, interesting times, interesting things are going to happen, I believe. I think it's going to be a really bumpy ride. I would encourage you to strap in because it's going to be crazy. All right, give you guys just another minute and I will tell you the answer and who has the correct guess. God, I love that sweet or green tea. I like sweet tea too, so and that's not a good thing because sweet tea is very rich in sugar. But man, I love sweet tea. All right, if you had the same exact guess, is a multi time winner, DJ with 4 eggs, and yes, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to DJ. I think he's won at least 8 times now, at least 8. Um, so congratulations to DJ. You've won nothing, but you are happy about it. See, and that's a good thing. It's a bad thing. So, man, he's on it. I got to tell you, he's won at least 8 times, at least. Rigged. Jason, it's rigged. He's just done better than the rest of you, getting the right answer in quick. So, uh, but yeah, 5 hens got 4 eggs. I'll take that. Not going to complain about that today. But yeah, the birds are doing good. It's like I went out this morning, changed out their water today, and DJ should be playing the numbers. That's what he needs to be playing the lottery because he is a winner. Um, I went out and changed their water out. Then this afternoon, they'd finished off their feed, so I had to redo that. Recount the ballots for the egg count. Oh my God, that's too funny. But yeah, like I said, it's just I'll tell you, folks. If I never had to leave this property, if I didn't have to go out and go anywhere, I would be okay with that. I really would. It is so peaceful and it's quiet, and I don't have to deal with the nonsense and any of that. What a difference! What a difference! And then you have to go out into society and deal with stupidity and ignorance, and you have like I said, you have everybody's offended now and everybody's upset about everything, and if you don't agree with their opinion, then you're a terrible, horrible person. And it's just, I don't agree with everything. I think you can still be friends with somebody that you don't agree with. There's certain things you probably should leave alone if you disagree with them. There's no sense getting into argument over stupid stuff. Who cares? you know who cares? So Donald said, I get that, Ed. I hate going into the general public. We went blueberry picking today, and man, people were rude as heck. Yeah, and there's something that let's talk about that too. Let's talk about that too. Manners, right? Manners. How hard, how hard is it for people to teach their children, their grandchildren, please, thank you, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, hold the door for people. It doesn't always just have to be holding the door for ladies. Hold the door for anybody, right? I taught my boys, you hold the door for people. If they're coming, you hold the door for them. You have respect. You treat people with respect. These freaking kids, and not all of them, I'm not going to put all of them in that category, but a lot of these kids today have no respect. Do you know why they have no respect? Because their parents are pieces of crap who have not taught their children respect. Heather, every year in school when she was little, would always win most polite because she was taught from the time that she was little. She would say, I want, and I'd say, what's the magic word? And the magic word was always please. Or I would say, I'm sorry, I don't hear you. And she would say it the same way again. And I'd go, nope, I can't hear you. I said, you're missing something. And then it would click. Oh, yeah, I need to say please. And she would, and it just becomes ingrained. It's not hard. It's called proper parenting, teaching kids. I mean, and some of you probably are watching this going, well, I don't make my children do that. Well, then that's part of the problem. But I think majority of the people in here probably do teach their children that because it's the right way to do it. It's the right way to do it. But it's just about respect. If I call somebody ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's not that and there's another part of the problem when you have people go, I don't need you to hold the door for me. Well, I know I don't need me to do it for you, but I'm doing it anyway because I'm doing it out of respect. And what do they say then? They can't say anything then, right? Ranger said, that's my great grandchildren, no respect. And it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault 100%. Whenever I'm out in public and I watch some little kid having a meltdown and having a temper tantrum in public and the parents are doing nothing about it, I'm going, those parents are pieces of crap. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion because I will tell you what, my son one time, and I gave him ample warning, Eddie, if you don't stop, we're leaving the store. And he didn't stop, and I picked him up and I started leaving the store, and he yelled and screamed the entire way, right? And I told, it was me, Amy, Heather, and Eddie, and I think Josh was with us too. We were getting clothes for school, and he was just being a snot. And so I picked him up, and we left. We left. And Heather's like, "Oh, Dad, there was stuff in there that I liked." And I said, "I'm sorry, Heather. Your brother's acting a certain way, and it's not going to happen." And guess what happened the next time we went back to the store to get school clothes? He didn't act like that again because he knew it was not going to be tolerated. You don't just because you're out in public, don't think that you get to act a certain way. And I will tell you that particular day I felt bad for Heather because she got also punished because of Eddie's behavior. Josh also got punished because of Eddie's behavior. But if you don't nip it in the butt, folks, if you don't stop that bad behavior right away, and here's one piece of advice I will give anybody that's a parent out there. If you make a threat to your children, and what do I mean by that? If you don't do this, I'm taking this privilege away. Okay? And then they do it, and you don't take that privilege away, your word means nothing. And they know that they can get away with whatever they want to do. When you follow through with your threats of the consequences for their actions, they feel safer. Believe me, they feel safer. It's being in an area where they know, okay, I can do this, but I can't do that. And, they'll test those limits. But you got to know. I work at Walmart and I see kids running around the store and the parents do absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's maddening, Alex. It's maddening. I worked at Walmart in the cosmetic department. A woman came in with her daughter in the cart. The daughter ordered her to take her to the toy department, and she did. Yeah, no. What I used to do with my kids, we would go obviously grocery shopping, and by that point, I would always do this with the kids. You can pick one thing that you want, and I will get it for you. So each kid could pick one thing. So be it candy, whatever they wanted, and then if they came up with a second thing, hey, can I get this? It's one thing. So you decide which one of these two do you want more, and it's simple. It's simple, and it's based on your behavior. If you behave, you're rewarded. If you're not going to behave, I'm not going to reward you. I'm not going to go, oh, I want to be my child's friend. I am not your friend. If I'm your parent, I am not your friend. I'm an adult. Then the relationship changes. That's when the relationship changes. When they become an adult, you will always be the parent, and you can always try to guide them, talk to them, and say, maybe, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? And hopefully they respect you enough that they listen to you, and maybe they make the right decisions. Maybe they don't, but they're an adult at that point, and they can make whatever decisions that they want. But again, it's just teaching them right. I mean, it's like, and I've found, like I said, I look back when I was a kid, and I've talked to you guys about this. I was not a good kid. I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. Nobody had any control over me at all, and that was it. Nobody locked me down. If you lock a kid down and you set boundaries, here's the key: boundaries. It makes them feel safe. Makes them feel safe. And so if you have boundaries and limitations, then they go, okay, I can do this, but I can't do that. And my thing with the kids, I always used to say, especially with Heather, I would say, if somebody says, hey, let's go do this or that, and you go, oh, my dad will kill me. I can't do that because my dad will kill me. Use me as the excuse. If it's something that you don't feel comfortable with and you don't want to do, you don't have to give in to peer pressure. You can say, no, my dad would kill me. I can't do that. And so that's what you use as the excuse. And, and it worked. I mean, Heather's a great kid. She's a great kid. And she's a young lady now, obviously. She'll be 23 this year, and so will Eddie. Um, and she's squared away. So, but anyway, that's just me ranting about. I see it out when I go out, like I said, at the grocery store, wherever I'm at. These parents today. And here's this the tough thing is this: there's no playbook, folks. There's no playbook. So, we don't have a script that we can go off of and go, hey, this is going to work, or that's not going to work, or this isn't going to work. You're doing the best that you can as a parent. But if you try to be your kid's friend, you're screwed. You can't be their friend. So, and every kid is different. Absolutely, Don. Every kid is different. I've always said Eddie made me a better parent because spanking him didn't work, did not work. So I had to come up with a different tool, a different way of discipline with him, which obviously trickled down with Josh and Heather. I never spanked Heather. Heather never got one spanking in her life. Did she get punished? She got punished, but she never got spanked. Josh, I spanked Josh twice, I think, when he was 6 years old. And my spankings, guys, just so you know, two shots on the butt with an open hand. That was a spanking for me. And both times Josh got spanked, it was because he was disrespecting and not listening to his mother. That was it. And I never had to do it again with him. He was a great kid too. Josh was a great kid. So he's a good young man. He's an adult now. He just got married. So, he's 20, he's 29 now. God, where did that time go? Well, he'll be 29 in January, so he's 28. But he'll be, like I said, good kid. So I never got spanked. I should have. Oh, I got spanked a lot. I got wooden spoons, open hand, switch. Yeah, I was just. Um, I didn't know you had a Josh. Josh was my stepson. When I married his mother, Josh was 5, and I raised Josh from 5 to 16. So, but no, he's always been a good boy. Josh was a good boy. He tested me, of course, but that they all do. They all gotta they all gotta test. You know, but I was not the one. I will tell you this. And I used to tell people, you say, well, what if your kids try to do this? I said, listen, I've done it all. You are not pulling any crap or anything on me that I hadn't done. So they're not getting away with anything like I did. So the year's going by very, very fast. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So anyway, folks, I am going to jump off of here for now. Um, you know, let's keep prepping. Let's not get too focused with the distractions because there's something else going on while they're distracting us. So pay attention too for that. Um, Control what you can control. That's what I'm going to encourage you to do. I'm always going to encourage you to do that. Be safe. I will talk to you all later. I hope you all have a great day. I hope everything is going good for you, and I hope you had a good weekend. Oh, I will be live streaming tonight for my hardcore members. Just putting that out here right now. I will be live streaming Monday for them, and I definitely will be live streaming on Wednesday as well. The rest of the week, I don't know what it's looking like yet, but I will live stream tomorrow night for my hardcore members, and Wednesday I will be doing a live stream as well. Past that, I look good for Friday or Sunday. So be safe, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Preparedness 1 out for now.